Ballpen, stage, cortina, canvas, telon, ruler, T-square, kahon, papel, pintura, camera, pelikula, bumbilya, pinta, ilaw, ikaw, kilos, pawis, sipag, dama, galit, tuwa, tulog, libog, lungkot, talino, dasal, angal, tapang, ikabot, sigaw. Ano ba talaga ang art? Ano ba talaga ang art? Ano ba talaga ang art?
Ano ba talaga ang art?
Every time I leave and then I come back, I go to Quiapo.
Ay hindi. Naging ordinaryong araw lamang ang araw na ito para sa atin.
Sa takdang pag-ukom na malapay ng Kristong Hari. Bawaan mo kami at ang buong dandilo ko kami.
It's been an inspiration for a lot of things, I guess, personally and creatively. To be an artist, to be based in Manila, is to be based in this city of contradictions. And somehow, to me, Quiapo is this place where all these contradictions play together and is lived.
Dance is the physical manifestation of what you're trying to do. You know, whether it's the manifestation of telling the story or the narrative of Snow White or Romeo and Juliet, it can also be the physical manifestation of an abstract concept.
It has very much basic to dance is its kinesthetic nature, which makes it different from all the other arts because it has visuality. It uses music or sound, even if it's only the drum or the beating of the, or the stamping of the feet or the clapping of the hands.
Dance for me is so it's a process of becoming something, and its medium is the human body. We can never understand what the human body is. We can never then understand how really dance creates its meaning. It's the primary energy concept of the human body. That's what it is.
Dance is something which is easier to understand than, say, music or language. You don't have to put meaning, any movement or any step, any gesture doesn't have to have a meaning. It exists, you do it for the beauty of the movement. Came to Holo, and that's where I first saw an authentic Pangalay dance. Because I've seen the Pangalay, it was performed during our high school days, but it's nothing similar in any way to the Pangalay that I saw for the first time in Holo. So it was an eye-opener for me, and it was like, oh, Eureka! What is this thing? It was like, what a discovery. So I wanted to learn the dance. Upon reaching home, can somebody teach me how to perform this dance? And they were laughing. Why do you want to learn this dance? It's only for the people in the Gimba, you know, from Bukid, Taga Bukid. Never mind, I can be a Taga Bukid. It's okay. I'd like to learn this from some Taga Bukid or Taga Isla or Taga Island. I worked so hard to perfect this art form. It is since 1969. What year is it now? So how many years of my life? This is practically my whole life.
We have always thought that Pangalay is probably the closest of our dance to classicism. We don't have a classical dance like the Indians have. Ligaya is a traditional dance, but she's the person who has really studied a particular art form and dedicated her life for it.
Pangalay is a traditional style of dancing in the Sulu archipelago, which is performed by the natives, particularly the Taosu, the Sama, the Bajau, and the Jamamapun of the Sulu archipelago. Pangalay can be put side by side with the other classical dance forms all over Southeast Asia especially. The steps like gliding on the floor, as if the toes and the soles of the feet, gliding on the floor, yes. So that's very unique to Pangalay, and they try to imitate that. That's one very special step, feet movement in Pangalay. In Pangalay dancing, the music is very fast, and the dancing is very slow and languid and flowing and seamless and all that. So how to reconcile this kind of rhythm to non-natives? We'd never seen Pangalay before. So what I did is, okay, stop the music. Let them internalize first the rhythm of Pangalay, which is very slow. And then I let them listen to some music. But before that, really, I let them sit down, keep quiet, and just try to internalize the rhythm of the music, which is very fast. And we are not used to dancing the slow way.
I think Philippine folk dance sometimes are collect. There is no depth in their repertoire. They do not really understand the dances they work on, but they love to have all these dances strung together, and it is saleable, marketable.
This is the basic Pangalay movement, which is I call the figure 8.
But Ligaya is not like that. She found her micro world. If you find your limitation, I think you achieve so much in the long run. Because you have the depth. You understand what you're doing more. And you are more, not only because you understand it in depth, but you understand the implication of what you're doing.
How can somebody teach effectively if that somebody doesn't understand, doesn't have full grasp or knowledge of the dance material that he wants to teach or to share with somebody, with a group of people? Hindi pwede yan. Kailangan alam niya a full understanding of the dance form. That's very important in dance instruction. Maybe out of respect for the dance tradition, for the culture of the peoples, which is the source of the vocabulary that I'm using. You see, if you change the posture, you change the character of the dance right away. So if the dancer dances this way, ano ba yan? Bastos yun eh. It's impolite. It's not decorous in the place of origin of the Pangalay dance style.
While people before keep on expanding the repertoire in the variety, she has a focus. I think this is where Ligaya's kind of trust and direction is exemplary, and I wish more people in the folk dance would do that.
How would you say it? Saved, learned the hard way a lot of the movement vocabulary for Pangalay, which is now almost gone.
Ballet. I started when I was 10 years old. So gusto ko mag-piano. Yung nanay ko, sabi niya, anak, wala man tayong pambili ng piano. So at least parang pag nag-ballet ka, wala tayong bibilin. Katawan mo lang yung gagamitin mo. Which, until my adult life, I was like, ang galing din nung aeromat ko kasi parang nasabi niya na, oh nga, your body is the most important thing that you can have to create something, di ba? I went straight into dancing professionally with the companies. While I didn't do dance as my degree, I would still do the season of BP. So in college, 96 until 98, I was doing full seasons with Ballet Philippines.
The way I would understand ballet is it's a dance form that is regulated by the syllabus of dance. Otherwise, it's just like any other dance. There are rules. It's not just rigid training. You have to adhere to the rules.
It is not just an art, it is a whole science. So it is not as simple na it is all feeling. It has a scientific basis. And it's study of the body. The ballet has studied the body for centuries, and we cannot reject that kind of wisdom or knowledge.
King Louis XIV kind of formalized ballet. He was the Sun King. He wanted to conquer the world, di ba? Talagang Sun King siya. So, I think on that certain level, it meant also like conquering gravity, conquering the Earth's forces. So how did this translate? It translated into going on point, jumping high, keeping your balance, and like, dahil mo sa gravity, hindi ako malalaglag. Maganda ako, Sun King ako di ba? So ganun yung ng ballet, no?
Part of Ballet Philippines is really exploring who we are and what our culture is. Therefore, we have this term, what we call Neo-Filipino ballets. It's all the ballets we have that reflect our culture and our local dances. What I'm very proud about Ballet Philippines is for 38 years they've been pushing the envelope. They have such a massive repertoire. So it tries to dispel the notion that ballet on stage in a theater is quarantined to just tutus and pastel-colored ribbons and simplistic stories. It's so much more than that.
They say modern ballet was ushered in when people started dancing barefoot, barefoot, and acknowledging gravity or this weight of the body on the floor. Still, it was within a kind of codified body language. It was clear, you contract this way. The center of gravity. The center of gravity is here. The center of your balance is here. When I really decided I will not do ballet anymore and I'm done with it was siguro 2003 after I gave birth. Yun, when I gave birth. After ko naman umalis ng Ballet Philippines, I was working with Myra, which was more contemporary, definitely.
Kaibang rosas, usbong mo'y agad ng pansin, likhang di pangkaraniwan. Talulot mo'y itsurang maselan, misteryoso kay sa rosaryo. Iniwasang mahagip, babasagin mong ayos. Binantang ikaw ay mahipo, tinik mo'y bumaon sa aking pagdampi. Dulot ay sakit, sarap. Hindi kita mapinta, mas pula kaysa pula, mas matingkad kaysa dugo. Ang iyong baho, ang siyamong bango. Ang dilig kong huli, luha kong alat, pait.
My dance practice is really a way of defining myself, my existence, and that includes my relationship to everybody else, to my culture, to my history. It's quite important.
Myra Beltran is very interesting because she has brought forward the independent dancer. She has been able to assert this independent vision of dance. To this independent vision, giving alternative artists who are not in the mainstream a kind of projection that they are as creative as those who are in the mainstream companies.
My mama, she dressed me up real pretty.
Definitely malakas yung influence working with Myra for many years. The strongest influence was that, or the most precious lesson I've taken from that is it has taught me to be independent and not depend on a teacher shouting at the top of your head. You will only do it because somebody's either shouting at you or somebody's watching you. With Myra, you were not supposed to look like anybody else. You were supposed to look like yourself.
Misteryoso kay sa rosaryo. Iniwasang mahagip, babasagin mong ayos.
To be independent and be in that medium, and dare to the certain extent that I wanted to dare. Because primarily the ballets that I was doing at that point were very classical, and I appreciate the form, but I'm a woman, I was previously married, and I wanted to address those things.
When postmodernism came in and everybody started asking questions on premises in life, contemporary dance asks the question, challenges the premise of the body itself. It's basically concerned not about form, not about body, not maybe aesthetics, it asks questions, but it's concerned with questioning the conditions of the performance and the choreographic process itself.
contemporary dance has to be defined within our context, within the conditions we face, our history, our culture, the diversity of our culture. So it's a term that needs constant definition. That much I can say about it. It is not static. It is not a certain vocabulary. It's not a certain look. If you say it's contemporary, if you truly feel, I cannot argue with you. Because that's precisely what contemporary is, a plurality of ideas.
Myra has found her own form of dancing. Very much rooted in herself, in her own psychology, in her own experience.
The more I critique myself and be honest about it, the more I gain energy to dance. So I affirm that power of dance in me, and that's great. I mean, maybe that's where that strength or that power comes from. It is my belief in the art form itself.
Ay, sorry. Parang yung totoong motivation kung ba't gusto ko lumabas, I was looking for a means to do creative work aside from the terms presented by this certain codified language such as ballet and modern ballet.
Donna is another character in contemporary dance. She puts herself in a limitation where she has to fill it up with what she can do in that limitation. And I always feel that artists must recognize their limitation, because if you think you can do everything, actually you are endangered. You go into grounds that you are not expert in, that you haven't really thought about, never really felt, never really experienced, never even prayed about or never dreamt about. So you are into grounds that you don't know.
Wala talaga akong katabi. Ang lungkot naman nun. Parang laos naman yun. When I studied in Makini, when you study at BHSA, it's the Philippine High School for the Arts, and somehow it's government money. There was a parang consciousness na pinapasa sa amin that you have to be Filipino. You have to create works that were distinctly Filipino. And so parang that was some kind of a pressure as well na sige, parang wala naman akong tribe, di naman ako wala din akong probinsya, batang Maynila ako, yung ganun. Tapos lumaki ako sa subdivision, lumaki ako sa TV, nanonood din sa Sesame Street, yung nasan yun, sorry. Parang ang hirap, san yung Pilipino kung ganun yung exposure ko, napaka-western nung exposure ko. Plus, it didn't help that I was trained in ballet and I was doing ballet. So after some time, I just let it be and just decide to do more personal works.
次の作品はミランダ・ドナ振り付けベネス・ポルカ・ドット・スカイズです。The next piece is Beneath Polka Dotted Skies, choreographed by Donna Miranda.
To me, the little turning point was when I came back from the competition in Yokohama. That I felt more, I understood more my identity and being placed somewhere. It was a dance video installation. It had two components, the video and the dance. But in the video, I was walking with a suitcase. Parang we shot it at UP. So walking with a suitcase. 2 minutes, and then after that's another 2 minutes of dancing. No video. And then afterwards, another video of me packing, just still frame, packing lang. And then, towards the end of packing, I was putting cuchillo inside the maleta. Towards the end of the performance, I came in again live on stage with the maleta that I used. But it was empty. And inside were leaves where we shot from at UP. And then I put myself inside the suitcase and it was zipped. And then to me, it was so personal. It had no political implication. In fact, I was just playing around with the themes, with the visual theme of the maleta and the leaves and the packing. And it was shown in Japan. A critic approached me and said, and some people in the audience said that the piece spoke so much of the Filipinos, the Filipino workers in Japan. And there it was like, oh yes, so I'm a Filipina, I'm a dancer, and I'm in Japan. And there are a lot of Filipino migrant workers, entertainers in Japan. And he said, you know, it's very powerful, this image of you packing. It speaks so much of this condition of Filipinos going to seek work and a better opportunity. And then in the end, you just put yourself back in your suitcase. And so then was when I understood that the personal is political. dance, dance. Dancing is not just this, it's also here and listening and smelling and tasting and curiosity. Curiosity with what other people are doing, even if they're not anything remotely connected with dance.
Bukid na semento, anino sa entablado, panaginip na plano, may matamis na berso. Art, 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 ano ba talaga ang art? Art, 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 ano ba talaga ang art? Art, 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 ano ba talaga ang art? Ano ba talaga, ano ba talaga, ano ba talaga? Pag-ibig at pagod, damit na suot, saan pa patungo ang dilaw na tuldok? May awit sa hangin, may dugo ang buwan. Ito ba ang sining? Tanong na naman. Art, 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 ano talaga ang art? Art, 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 ano ba talaga ang art? Art, 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 ano ba talaga ang art? Ano ba talaga, ano ba talaga, ano ba talaga?